Hi guys, my name's Bex and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing to you my July wrap-up. 29th of June when I am filming this gem, and I'm really excited because I've had a phenomenal reading month, which definitely makes up for my average reading month last month. So as always, let us get into the stats of what I read this month. This month I read a total of 8 books, which page count was 2,809 pages. And overall, I had a really good reading month. I had 1 3-star book, 1 3.5-star book, 3 4-star books, 1 4.5-star book, and 2 5-star reads. Of these books, 5 were fantasy, 1 was a contemporary, 1 was a sci-fi, and 1 was a retelling. When we're talking about type of book, I actually read an ebook this month. So I read 1 ebook, 1 audiobook, and 1 graphic novel, and all the rest were physical books. So without further ado, let's jump into the books. And I asked you guys how you would like my wrap-ups to run via Twitter, and the options were I run my wrap-ups like I usually do, which is what I read first to what I read last, or I do it in order of least liked to favorite read. And you guys voted and said that I should do it from my worst book to my best book, so that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys today. So let's get started with my worst book of this month, which is a 3-star book, so it wasn't a bad read. And that book was Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. Follows Percy, who in the first book works out that he is a demigod, so he is the son of Poseidon, and his mum is human, and things start going wrong for him and start attacking him because there are monsters and nobody really likes the demigods to survive. So it's kind of his tale, and this continues on with it. And I thought this was a good book. However, it just didn't hit home the way that I thought it was. Keep in mind that I have seen the movie, so I kind of knew the gist of what was going to happen. It was an enjoyable read, but maybe a little bit too young for me, but I really want to get onto Rick Riordan's other work, so I have to get through this series. So it was just a 3-star book. I think it definitely would be a book that I'd let my kids read. I love the characters, their development is awesome. The plot is kind of very, we have a problem, here's how we fix it, we have a problem, here's how we fix it, and that's how middle grade books go. I just don't connect to it as much as I would hope I would, but I'm hoping when I read the next book in August that I will start connecting more because I actually don't know the story. The next book I read was Mightve Stars by Ashley Herring Blake, which was my 3.5-star read. There's a young girl named Mara who is a passionate feminist and who has a twin brother named Owen. Owen and Mara are as close as they can be until Owen is accused of rape by his then girlfriend, and Mara's world comes crashing down. She knows Owen wouldn't do such a thing, but she also knows Hannah, and Hannah would not accuse anyone of rape, and she wouldn't lie about something so serious. And it is about Mara, and it's about her dealing with this situation, and this book was really good. It has some trigger warnings, obviously, for sexual assault and rape, so obviously before going into this, remember to take care of yourself. And when I first picked this one up, I didn't think I would like it. I didn't think I would read it, but I ended up reading a sampler on Barnes & Noble, and I got hooked to the story. So I quickly went and bought the ebook. Ashley navigates rape, consent, sexual assault, and victim blaming really honestly and with sensitivity and an absolutely beautiful writing style. I think these are such tough topics to cover in books, and she did it really well. Mara was one of my absolute favorite characters. Her character was complex and dealt with so many issues in the book. I felt like they just kept piling on, and I felt really sorry for her character. But unfortunately, I was a bit underwhelmed with the relationship between Mara and Owen. They were supposed to have this really thick bond, and unfortunately we weren't shown that. We were just told they're really close, but we weren't shown that. I didn't see it, and I think I needed to see that to be able to believe the story a bit more. But I felt like this detachment really deterred me from the story, and I wasn't able to get the full experience. Didn't give it a very high rating, but still really enjoyed it. I think it's a really important book that everyone should give a go. Next up on my list is Saga, Volume 6 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is a 4-star read for me, but it was just not as impactful as the others. Saga is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling sort of thing, but in space as aliens that are not supposed to fall in love but then do and then have babies, and then everyone's trying to kill them. So good fun. It's a really enjoyable graphic novel series. I freaking love Saga. I didn't think I'd like it at the start. It's very confronting, it's very graphic, but really funny. And I'm excited to dive into more of these because apparently the next couple of volumes are just magnificent. So really liked this. The characters are just getting better and better, and the story's just getting better and better, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Next up on my list is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart, and I received this from the publisher Hachette Australia for an honest review, and I really enjoyed this. I believe it came out on the 27th of July, but I freaking really enjoyed this book. This is another one of my 4 out of 5 star reads, obviously. Grace and Fury follows 2 girls, Serena and Nomi. They live in a world where girls have absolutely no power. They don't get to choose who they marry. They don't get to choose what they do. They are just told everything, basically. And Serena, her whole life has been training to be a Grace, which is a epitome of a perfect woman. They stand beside the king and give him heirs and show women, I guess, what they should be. And then there is her sister Nomi, who is a rebel and who has a dark secret that could bring down both Serena and Nomi. So the story goes from there. One of them in a royal palace, one of them in a prison, and it's kind of the lengths they will go to for each other and the lengths they will go to survive. I really enjoyed Grace and Fury. I think the characters were really well developed. I think the story was really interesting, although I could see elements pulling from other books, but it was weaved really nicely. It's actually the first book in a series, so this will be definitely continuing, and I definitely will be continuing with it. But when my full review is up, I will leave it down below so you can go click on it and know my in-depth, non-spoilery thoughts. But overall, really enjoyed this. I definitely think you should pick it up because it was a really good read. The next book was, again, 4 out of 5 stars, and it was Alice by Christina Henry. I didn't think I'd like this, but I was just drawn to it. I read the first, I think, couple paragraphs, and I was like, yep, I'm reading you. And I really enjoyed it. It's an Alice in Wonderland retelling following a girl named Alice, and she is kind of in a mental institution after she arrives back into the world from some unknown place, bloody and speaking of things that nobody really believes. So her parents put her into a hospital and she meets Hatcher, and there is a fire, and somehow they escape, and they're basically trying to get to the bottom of what happened to her and what happened to him, because none of them remember anything. But there is a Jabberwock on the loose, and it's their job to find him. This is dark, so don't get me wrong, this is very dark. This has trigger warnings again for rape, and it's bloody and gory, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it'd be that dark, but it really is, and I'm excited to pick up more of Christina Henry's writing because I was really intrigued by it. But this is one of 2. The next one is Red Queen, and I definitely want to read that one as well. Moving up on my list, we're getting nearly to the top, so this is going to be basically my 3rd favourite read of the month, and it is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This is a 4.5 star book, and it was freaking phenomenal. It follows a town called Sparrow, where 2 centuries ago, 3 girls were put to death for witchcraft, and now each summer the 3 girls return. They take 3 girls' bodies and then kill the town's boys, and they drag boys to their watery deaths in retribution for what they suffered. So this story follows Penny, but she has lived in Sparrow her whole life. She has accepted her town's fate until a boy named Beau arrives to town with no idea what he has stepped into. But both Penny and Beau are hiding secrets, and it's a really entertaining read. Oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd love it as much as I did, but the writing was lyrical, the characters were well developed, there were twists and turns that I just didn't see coming, and I freaking loved it. It was such a good read. I had such creepy vibes while reading this, and it was just such an enjoyable experience, and I think everyone should give it a go. Now moving on to my top 2 reads. Both of them are by the same author, so prepare yourself. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I finally got to Vicious, and Vicious follows 2 boys that were friends in high school. They're scientists. They want to know things, and they do experiments to the point they give themselves superhuman abilities. So they become extraordinary, and this follows their story kind of going back and forth, and they're both gone in different paths, and it's really interesting the way Victoria writes this and kind of blends of who is the hero and who is the villain. I really enjoyed the way she told this story, the way she told how their friendship kind of severed, and the motivations behind it. It was just brilliantly written, as all of Victoria Schwab's writing is, really. The plot was extreme, and I really loved it. I think it took the story in places that I didn't think it would go, and I went into this story relatively blind, and I think that's the best way to do it. But I read this one because the next book, Vengeful, is coming out soon, and I cannot wait to read Vengeful. This was amazing. Vengeful, I hope, is just going to be just as good, and I'm really excited to dive back into Eli and Victor's twisted relationship. And last but not least, my favorite read of the month was A Conjuring of Like by V.E. Schwab. This is the 3rd book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, and the Shades of Magic trilogy follows Kel, who is an Antari who can travel through different Londons, and there are 4 Londons, Black London, White London, Grey London, and His London, which is Red London, which is full of life. And Black London is never talked about. It's basically destroyed. And this was the culmination of 3 books, and it was so freaking good. It was written so well. It's a chunker though. This book is 666 pages, and I was gonna save it for the Newts, which runs through August. See my TBR above. But I couldn't hold off. Like, this is amazing. I had to read it immediately, and I did not regret it. It was 5 out of 5 stars. The characters, the character development, the ending was amazing. Everything you could want in a final book, it was here, and it was absolutely fantastic. Please read this. Please do it. Do it for me. And that's it for me today, guys. Those are the 8 books that I read in the month of July, and I'm so excited that I read 8 books. I'm just so close to my Goodreads goal, which, if you did not know, is 50 books, and currently I am at 43. Oh my goodness, so close. It's gonna be a good reading year, I can tell. And all of these books, like, none I hated. Like, I enjoyed all of them, some better than the others, but it was such an enjoyable reading month, and I'm hoping to continue that reading month through August because there are so many good things going on. The Newts are going on throughout August, the Quarterly Club book meetup is on August, I also have a Q&A and giveaway coming. Cannot wait to chat to you guys because I hit 1K. And I'm excited about it. That is it for me today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more and have not already, and chat to me down in the comments. Let me know what books you read in the month of July. Let me know your favorite book of the month. Let me know your least favorite book of the month. I would love to hear just what you read. Let's just talk about the books. Let me know if you liked anything that I read. Tell me your thoughts on those. But that's it for me today, guys. I make videos every Monday and Thursday, and I'll see you in a new one. Bye!